Alright, so good day everyone. So welcome to the fifth week of our lesson here in DISS. So today, ang pag-uusapan natin will be the applications. It will be the application of structural functionalism. Application on the basic concept of structural functionalism. Yan. So last week, pinag-aralan natin, ayan na lang isulat ko, okay? So last week, pinag-aralan natin ang different concepts of basic concepts of structural functionalism, Marxism, and symbolic interactionism. But today, ang pag-uusapan lang natin will be the application. We will dig deeper on how we are going to apply the concept of structural functionalism in our society. Okay? Kasi it is important, okay, that na maintindihan natin yung konsepto ng mga principles na pinag-uusapan natin. But it is more important if we know how to use these principles in real life. Okay? Tulad nga ng sinabi ko sa inyo nung first week natin, 'di ba, na ang mga principles in social sciences, hindi lang natin siya pinag-aaralan just to memorize it and then use, 'di ba, what you have learned for you to pass the exam. These principles are actually the aids, okay? Ito ay gamot, ito ay possible na maging cure or solution in the problems that a society encounter. So today, yan tulad nga ng sabi ko, pag-uusapan natin ang different applications of structural functionalism. So a very quick recap lang that structural functionalism, it is a principle that argues that a society is composed of different structures. Okay? These different structures are also have functions included. Okay? So for example, mga structures na to, the structure of school. So yung structure ng school, it has a function of educating young people. So tatandaan natin that these different structures, okay, are not the same. Okay? These different structure, kapag we do not have one structure lang in a society, tama? Pansin nyo, palitingin lang kayo sa, kahit pumunta nga kayo ng palengke, di ba? Pag pumunta kayo ng palengke, iba-ibang tinda, may karne, may gulay, may isda, okay, may mga dried goods, may mga dairy goods, di ba? Iba-iba. So same with our society, it is composed of different structures. And these different structures are also composed of different functions. So we could say that these structures are dynamic with one another. Sila po ay iba-iba sa isa't isa. Okay? So the structure of education is different from the structure of government. That is why you cannot say, di ba, that it is okay to abolish the government because educated naman ng mga tao. Because a society will not be able to survive with order and peace without the rulership of the government. Nakapag-aral ka nga, okay, pero may kapangyarihan naman ng ibang tao na patayin ka. So how are you going to use that education that you have? Okay, so each structures in a society are dynamic. That is why you also cannot say, okay, na kunyari ikaw ay naging doctor, you cannot say that you are more essential compared to the farmers. Okay? Hindi mo po pwedeng sabihin yun kasi even though that you are one of the most important essential staff in the medicine field, hindi ka naman mabubuhay kung wala ka namang kanin, di ba, nakakainin. That is why farmers are also essential. They varies with one another. They are dynamic with one another. Walang level, walang different classes. Okay, every structure, okay, are important in a society. Alright, so okay. So ngayon, since nga, di ba, pinag-uusapan na lang din naman natin ang dynamic, ang different structures in a society also varies, di ba? Hindi lang siya nagba-vary from one structure to another structure, but it also varies from generation to generation. It also varies from one generation to another generation. Like for example, ang perfect example nito ay social media. Diba? Ang social media naman during the 1900s, it doesn't even appear. Okay? So, there is an absence of social media during the 1900s. Okay? But then, diba, during this millennial period, diba, itong bagong millennium na to, social media, 'di ba, is na considered as a structure in a society. Kasi sa social media may mga businesses na, 'di ba? Sa social media, meron ng mga entertainment personalities, o kaya tinatawag natin. So nag-iiba-iba siya. Okay, nag-iiba-iba ang structures habang di natin alam no ngayon may social media, 'di ba? Could you think of another structure in a society that might be added 50 years from now? 100 years from now, 'di ba? Sa tingin niyo no 1900s, 'di ba, sila ano ba example natin, sila Sigmund Freud, 'di ba? Kung kilala niyo si Sigmund Freud, 'di ba? Sabihin na natin sila Aristotle, okay, nung mga panahon pa nila na before the common era. So sila Aristotle, they actually cannot imagine, 'di ba, that you were able to speak to one person sa isang device, and that person is located to the different or another part of the world. Okay? Kaya tayo ngayon, since we almost have everything today, ano kaya ang naiisip mo na possible na madagdag na structure in a society 50 years or 100 years from now? Diba? Okay? So ngayon, but then still, despite that generation changes, okay, as time goes by and structures modifies as generation changes, we still need to adapt the changes that are happening around us. Because if we were not able to adapt with the changes, syempre hindi tayo magsusurvive. Okay? We need of course to adapt to the changes, okay, for us to maintain our equilibrium. Okay? So, yan. For example, di ba, alam mo naman na may changes tayo ngayon when it comes to the platform of education. If you keep on resisting, di ba, if you will keep on resisting on what do you call this, on conforming to the new normal of our education system, which is now, di ba, nag-online na tayo ngayon. Kung ang mga tao, they will keep resisting on that, do you think magkakaroon tayo ng magandang sistema sa education? Do you think that learner or there will be good leaders to be produced in the near future kung ang mga tao panay resist, 'di ba? Panay protest, 'di ba? Panay sabi ng academic freeze, hindi na lang mag-adapt, 'di ba? Doon sa changes na nangyayari sa atin. Okay? Ngayon, it is important, okay, why we need, okay, to apply the basic concept of structural functionalism. It is because of the principle of equilibrium. Wait lang. Okay, sorry. Equilibrium. Okay, because of the principle of equilibrium. So, ang equilibrium possible na nababasa o narinig yun na to sa mga laws in science, di ba? That there must be there must be an equilibrium or an equal state, okay, of two or more or between two or more elements. Okay? So, okay, ngayon according to Talcott Parsons, okay, isa sa mga sociologist. So according to Talcott Parsons, that equilibrium is important for a society to achieve. Okay? Because if there is an equilibrium, okay, kung walang equality or stability in a society, there will be dysfunctions. There will be disorganizations that will result into chaos. Okay? Kaya pansin nyo, di ba? Kahit naman na in a society, halos pantay-pantay naman na din ang mga babae at sa lalaki, there are still people, okay, who are outside in the gender of male and female, who are fighting against equilibrium. Okay? Kasi importante, okay, ang pagkakapantay-pantay ng bawat elements in a society because that will promote peace and order. Okay? Ayan. So, paano, according to Talcott Parsons, how we are able to achieve equilibrium in our society? So, meron siyang tinatawag na agil. Okay, agil. Agree ba kayo? Agil ba kayo? Joke lang. Okay, so, agil. Okay, agil stands for adaptation. Hindi ko alam kung paano ko maliliitan to. Adaptation. Okay, pasensya na kayo guys. This is the most extent, okay, that I can do in our video lesson. Okay, Kaya pasensya na kayo. May module naman kayo, so you could definitely read it. Okay, guide nyo lamang ito. So, goal presentation. I keep on thinking about presentation. Ano ba yan? Totoo nga, no? So, ano ang ini-speak ng isip mo, di ba? Yun din talagang ini-speak ng bibig mo. Goal attainment. Okay, goal attainment. Okay, I for integration. Sorry. Hi. Integration, and L for latency. Okay? Grabe, I really feel so sorry about my handwriting. Latency. Okay? So, sa adaptation tayo para mas malinaw yung handwriting natin. In adaptation, okay, adaptation, it is about acquiring and mobilizing sufficient resources so that the system can survive. So, for us to survive and for us to achieve equilibrium, resources or materials in a society must also be achieved. Okay? So, hindi magsasurvive ang isang society kung hindi naman na-fulfill ang pagkain. That's why I keep on telling you, diba, that farmers are also essential. Because without them, diba, how can we be able to produce goods? Diba, anong gagawin natin? Parang sa China, diba, yung plastic, gagawin nating repolyo para makakain tayo ng gulay. Diba? Of course not. Okay? Ang adaptation is siya sa pinakamahalagang element, okay, for our society to achieve equilibrium so as for us to survive. The materials must be acquired and mobilized. So, it is, kaya nga, sabi ko kanina, that is why every functions or every structures of a society is important. Because every structures, okay, have different functions that will contribute, okay, that will contribute sa pagdating sa pag-a-add, ayan, pag-i-improve, di ba, at pag-mobilize ng different resources. Okay? So, for example, in the structure of banks, di ba? Ang mga bangko, mahalaga yung mga yan. Okay? Kasi, mahalaga yung mga yan. Kasi, yan ang nagiging channel ng investments. Yan ang nagiging channel ng savings. Yan ang nagiging channel ng incomes. Okay? Or ng pera. Okay? Ng tao to another person. So, that is why, di ba, every functions or every structures are very important kasi lahat sila ay agent to contribute different resources that people have. Okay? Next is goal attainment. Yan. Isa din sa pinaka-importante. That is one of the most important imperative for our society to survive, goal attainment. There must be a goal to be always set. Okay? Kasi kung walang goal, anong i-achieve natin? Kaya nga, di ba, mayroong SONA. Ang SONA, hindi naman yan para mag-drawing lang eh. Okay? Ang SONA, ginagawa yan ng every president to set a plan, to set a goal, so that there must be something that we can achieve in the next future. Okay? So, importante that a society is importante, okay, na ang mga leaders, okay, ang government, importante na ang structure of government, ayan, sa isang society ay visionary. Okay, kasi kapag visionary ka, you are able to look forward in the future. Okay, meron kang isa kang visionary na mapapangarapin ka, idealistic ka, at kaya mong mag-set ng goals na attainable. Okay, so next, integration. Kaya nga kahit nga kayo, 'di ba? Kung wala kang pangarap, hindi kasi sipaging mag-aral. Tama? If you don't have a goal, okay, kung hindi mo alam ang function mo, okay, if you do not know the function that you can have in the near future, hindi kasi sipaging mag-work hard sa pag-aaral ngayon. But if you know, okay, that in the near future that you can have a function of being a doctor, that you can have a function of being a teacher, diba? You are aspired to be one, diba? Anong magiging resulta niya? You will work hard. Kasi ganun po ka-importante ang goal. Kaya siguro check mo. Baka kaya ka tinatamad na mag-aral kasi baka wala ka ng pangarap. Okay? Next is integration. Integration, maintaining solidarity or coordination. Ayan, coordination. So, one thing that we also discussed, diba, last time, that even that despite that the structures varies from one another, they must be interdependent sa isa't isa. So, okay, kahit na iba-iba ang structures in a society, they must coordinate with one another for them to maintain solidarity and unity. Okay? Kasi nga, diba, sabi nga sa pinag-aralan natin last time, ang mga structures parang katawan yan ng tao. Diba? They work independently, diba? May iba't iba silang functions, may iba't iba silang system, pero yung function nila, okay, nagiging related with one another for that body to survive. Next, we have latency. Tatandaan natin yan. Aanhin mo ang galing-galing ng subunits mo pero hindi naman coordinated. Diba? For example, sa mga groupings. Kahit sa mga groupings yan, diba? Lahat matatalino, lahat first honor, diba? Road to valedictorian. Pero hindi naman nag-uusap-usap. Do you think that group will work? Hindi po. Next, we have latency. Okay? So, latency is creating, preserving, and transmitting the system's distinctive culture and values. Okay? So, isa daw sa mga ways, okay, for our society to achieve equilibrium at para mag-survive tayo, it is when we preserve our values. Okay? Mahalaga. Kaya nga, di ba, may structure kahit na sobrang civilized natin ngayon, hindi pa rin nawawala ang structure ng religion. Because religion, di ba, promotes the conduct of values. Kasi kapag wala pong value ang mga tao, kahit na sobrang gagaling na mga yan, it will still promote disorder and chaos. At isa sa mga bagay na magme-maintain sa society natin to exist, okay, at magpe-preserve ng equilibrium is when people, okay, each and every people have their own values that they preserve. Okay, they have their own values that they live. Okay? Kasi sa akin, 'di ba? Me personally, 'di ba? Hindi natutuwa ako sa mga taong matatalino. Yes, diba? I am amazed of that because not all people are smart, not all people, have the desire to know everything that they want to know. But then still, I am still more amazed or amused, diba, sa mga tao na magaganda ang asal. That even though they think that people are seeing them as a failure, diba, meron silang value to still stand up, may value sila to still respect those people, even if those people don't respect them at all. But those kinds of people are the ones that I am really amused at. Hindi imposible po sa mga taong may magagandang values ang maging successful in the future. Because values are very important, diba, for a society to survive and you for also to succeed. Okay? So, yun yung sinasabi, o yun yung sinabi niya Talcott Parsons. Ayan. But then, okay, so ang structural functionalism, ayan, sabi nga, diba, it sustained, or it received a lot of criticisms in the late 1960s. Ayan. Kaya nga, no mga, parang 10 taon lang to, okay, mga ilang taon lang tong nag-exist. Okay, so pagdating ng mga 1970s, medyo nawala na ang kredibilidad nito. Maraming mga nag-criticize na ang structural functionalism, maganda ang idea, maganda ang concept, pero kulang. Kulang siya kasi hindi niya na-address yung principles, paano pa nagka-social order. Social disorder pala. Anong gagawin? Ano kayang posibleng gawin ng mga structures kapag nagkaroon ng disorder sa isang society? Yan. So, hindi rin na-recognize ng structural functionalism yung equalities. Ayan. They ignore inequalities of social class, race, and gender that can cause tension and conflict in the society. Ayan. So, ngayon, in your module, Yan, dito we will dig deeper, okay? So, despite of those criticisms, okay? Ako, sa totoo lang, I'm amused, okay? Ito, na parang bias, no? Pero, ang ganda ng principle talaga ng structural functionalism, eh. Kahit na marami siyang pagkukulang, na hindi niya nga na-address, di ba, yung inequality sa class, gender, and race, di ba? It is still good, okay, when it comes to identifying the different roles and functions of people. So, ngayon, in your module, you can see there in page 7, diba, na ang structural functionalism, ayan, meron siyang dalawang part, okay? So, una, ang part niya ay social structures, okay? So, sinabi na natin yan kanina, paulit-ulit na lang tayo. So, kaya nga structural functionalism kasi may iba't ibang structures. So, ano-ano mga structures na yun, or social pattern, or pattern social relations, government, church, school, and media. And the same, okay, that's, in structural functionalism, it also discussed, at yung pag-aaralan natin ngayon, functions, social functions, and dysfunctions. Okay? So, ano pag sinabi nating social functions? Okay, ito muna unahin natin. Malino na siguro tayo pagdating sa structure. Sa structure, ito yung society, government, school, ayan, commerce, okay, iba't ibang structure that na kinocomprise ang society. So, ngayon, ano ang social function? Okay? Social functions, these are the results or effects for the operation of the society in general. Okay? So, ang social function, ito yung impact. Okay? Ito yung impact or effect ng isang operation or ng isang structure in a society. Yan. So, for example, education. Ano ang social function ng education? Siyempre, to provide socialization and learning. Okay? Ganun din ang family. Ano ba ang social function ng family? Ayan. So, it provides sexual, reproductive, economic, and educational needs sa mga members neto. Diba? So, media. Diba? Ano ang social function niya? It mirrors the concerns of the audience. Okay? So, because of media, di ba, na-express natin yung nararamdaman natin. Because of media, di ba, mas lalong nagiging totoo yung democracy na tinatawag natin. Di ba, ang religion, ano ba ang social function ng religion? Tinuturuan niya tayo, di ba? Nililid tayo ng religion ng mga churches natin to well-being. Okay? To our own well-being. It teaches us morality. Okay? Na ang morality at ang well-being ng mga tao ay mahalaga to provide social stability and order. Okay? So, ngayon, ang social functions, meron siyang dalawang klase. Okay? So, makikita nyo sa inyong table, okay, meron siyang dalawang klase. So, ang dalawang klase ng social functions ay manifest and latent. Okay? Ito ay na-discuss natin to last week. Okay, manifest and latent. Okay? So, manifest and latent. Okay? So, ano ang pinagkaiba nito? So, para mabilis na lang tayo. So, ano ang manifest function? Diba? Ang manifest function, ito yung nangyayari ngayon. Okay? Diba sabi natin na nakaraan sa education? Okay? Ano ang nangyayari kapag nag-aral ka? Nagkakaroon ka ng learning. Okay, that is something that you, di ba, habang pinapanood mo itong video lesson na to, habang binabasa mo yung module mo, di ba, nakakapag-produce ka ng learning. So, that is the manifest effect or manifested effect. Ngayon, pag sinabi nating manifest function, okay, manifest function according to Robert Merton, ito yung intentional or known. The manifest function, these are intentional or known. Natin tawag natin. Okay? 'Di ba expected kapag nag-aral ka may matututunan ka? Okay? 'Di ba? Expected mo kaya ka nga pumasok sa school para matuto kang magbasa. Okay? At pag natuto kang magbasa, okay, yun ay manifested behavior or result ng pag-aaral mo. Okay? At kumbaga, ang school, meron siyang manifest function that is known to everyone. Okay? That school is a source of learning. That school is a source of maturity. Okay, that the school is a source of socialization. Yan. So, manifest function yun. We are all aware, okay, and it is intentional that people go to school because of the manifested effect of school, diba, to educate and to provide learning for people. Okay? So, ngayon, ano naman ang latent function. Okay? So, ang latent function, from the word itself, latent. Okay? Late. Okay? Late, yan ang mga gamit kayo ng mga root words ninyo. Okay? Late o latent. So, ang mga latent function, di ba, ito yung nangyayari in the future. Okay? Okay? So, ang sino dito, okay, meron ba sa inyo nakakaalam ng mangyayari in the future? Okay, si Madam Auring ka ba? Okay? Na alam mo kung anong mangyayari. Diyos ka ba? Di ba? Na alam mo mangyayari in the future? Of course not. We do not know the future. Okay? We do not know the latent events that will happen in the near future. We do not know that. Kaya nga, ang mga latent functions, these are unexpected. Dahil sa ang future, mali spelling. Dahil nga, di ba, ang future, we do not know the future, it is sorry. Ano ba yan? Okay, latent. These are unexpected. Okay, these are the unexpected functions. Ayan. Okay? So, unexpected effects or effects nga ng institution. So, naniniwala si Merton that sociologists should look out for latent functions rather than manifestations or manifest functions. Okay? Na, di ba nga, sabi nga, ano na nga nagsabi, di ba? Sino yon? Pangalan nun, si Talcott Parsons, nakasama sa agil niya yung goal attainment. Ang goal attainment, magkakaroon ka ng goal, di ba? If you are able to see the latent future, if you are able to see the unexpected events. Kaya nga ang mga sociologists, if they wanted to create solutions, or if they wanted to produce principles, di ba, that will help a society, dapat ang nilolook forward nila ay future. Hindi sa kung ano yung nangyayari ngayon. Ano ang posibleng maging epekto neto? Ano ang posibleng maging dulot, okay, ng principle na ito in the near future. Okay? So, ayan. So, sabi niya nga that we must focus, okay, in understanding the latent functions for us to increase for us, diba, na ma-increase yung understanding natin in our society. Yeah, for example, okay, for example sa atin, no, na education, pasok tayo sa education. Saan na ba yun? For example, in education. So, sa education, ang manifested function ng education, anong effect niya? It is to provide learning. Okay? Ngayon, 'di ba, as a sociologist, dapat makita mo din yung latent function ng education. Ano kaya ang possible na maging needs ng mga estudyante in the future? Ano kaya ang possible na maging problems na ma-encounter ng mga estudyante? For example, 'di ba, in this new normal, 'di ba, kapag ikaw ay educator, kapag ikaw ay staff o ng DepEd or ng CHED, basta nasa field ka ng education, hindi mo lang dapat ini-imagine kung ano yung matututunan ng estudyante. Hindi mo lang dapat isipin ano yung matututunan niya sa lesson, but then, 'di ba, you must also foresee, 'di ba, on what those students will encounter in their learning experience habang sila ay nasa online platform. Okay? So, as a sociologist, okay, kailangan, 'di ba, as a sociologist, kailangan you need to see, okay, you need to see, ayan, the latent function of a structure. Okay? So, yan. Okay. Ayan, so yun na nga siya. Okay? Ayan na. Okay, so yun yung latent and manifest. So, I hope you understand it. If you have questions, pwede naman kayong mag-comment or pwede kayong mag-message sa akin if you wanted clarifications. Next, okay, social dysfunctions. Kanina, social functions tayo, diba? So, these are the positive effects, okay, or effects of a structure. Social dysfunctions. Ayan. So, ang social dysfunctions, okay, ito naman yung mga negative, okay, negative effects or negative results of a certain structure. Okay? So, yan. So, meron din siyang manifest and latent. Okay, same siya with social function. So, manifest, okay, sila, for example, ang mga manifest social dysfunction, okay, manifest social dysfunction, ito yung mga ina-expect mong disruptions of social life. Parehas lang sila. These are the expected disruptions. Ano ang ine-expect mong maging problema, okay, ng structure na to? Okay? So, for example, okay, so, kapag alam natin na kapag dumami ng dumami, okay, ang mga tao sa isang lugar, we are expecting that that society or that community will tend to become overpopulated in the future. We're expecting that kasi alam natin na kapag madaming tao, 'di ba, overpopulated, at alam natin yan sa science natin na kapag overpopulated, there might be pollution. So yun yung mga manifested functions. Ngayon naman ng mga latent dysfunction. Ang latent dysfunction, ito yung mga unknown or unexpected that might happen in the future. So, for example, lagay natin. So, like for example, kapag dumami ang mga tao, okay, sa isang lugar, expected natin na magkakaroon ng population, mag-overpopulate, expected natin na pag maraming tao, uunti ang resources, alam natin yan, di ba? Alam natin na pag dumami ang mga tao, malaki ang chance na magkaroon ng unemployment, but okay, we sometimes do not see that the one of the effects of overpopulation is the increase of crime rate. Okay? It is the increase of crime rate. So, yun yung tawag nating social or latent dysfunction of overpopulation. Ayan. So, okay. So, ngayon, according to English sociologist Herbert Spencer, ayan. So, he conceptualized another important concept in sexual functionalism, which is the idea of social equilibrium. So, ngayon, di ba, sabi ni Talcott Parsons, kailangan may agil ang isang society para magkaroon ng equilibrium. Ngayon, di ba, for us, di ba, to achieve equilibrium, we must attend or we must address those latent dysfunctions or functions of structures in our society. Kailangan ma-identify mo, kailangan malaman mo ano yung mga latent functions or dysfunctions na meron ang isang structure. Okay? Ngayon, importante according to Herbert Spencer, okay, isa sa mga pwede nating gawin for us to avoid or for us to prevent latent social dysfunctions. Okay? Ano ang pwede nating magawa, 'di ba, to prevent, diba? How to prevent latent social dysfunctions. Okay, sa madaling salita, paano mo mapipigilan na magkaroon ng negative effect, okay, ang isang social case or isang social issue in our society? For example, okay, so paano nga ba? It is when people or it is when the authorities tend to modify the conditions that they provide. Kondisyon. Okay, yan sa Tagalog. Okay, kondisyon sa Tagalog. Okay? So, papaano? Like, for example, for example, yun nga, pasok pa rin tayo dun sa overpopulation. So, dumami ang mga tao, okay, sa isang lugar, okay? So, yun ang, ngayon, ang manifested natin doon na dysfunction doon is magkakaroon ng pollution, unemployment, and so on and so forth. But then, the latent effect or the latent dysfunction of it is ang magiging latent dysfunction nito is increase of crime rate. Okay, magkakaroon ng pagtaas, okay, ng krimen. Okay? So, ngayon, paano natin mapipigilan yung latent? Na dysfunction. Okay? It is when the people of a society provide conditions. Okay? So, for example, dahil nga ang daming tao sa isang lugar. Ngayon, dadami ang mga tao sa mall. So, ngayon, nagkaroon ng isang social event. Okay? Nagkaroon ng isang event wherein nga, dahil nga sa sobrang dami ng tao sa isang lugar, hindi na na-check ang mga bag. Ngayon pala, hindi pala na-check na ang isang lalaki pala may hawak pala siyang martilyo. Tapos yung martilyo na yun, di ba, ginamit niya yun para makapag-grab ng isang jewelry store. So, paano natin mapipigilan yung magiging possible latent dysfunction nun? It is when, okay, kapag pinagbawalan na ang pagdadala, okay, ng mga martilyo sa mall. Okay, Okay, so yun lang naman yun. Para natin ito maiiwasan. Ito ay kapag na-modify at mas inigihan pa ang pag-provide ng social conditions for us to prevent social dysfunctions. Okay? At isa din, okay, sa mga kinaharap din nating mga social dysfunction, aside from increase of crime rate, okay, isa din sa mga kinakaharap na lang natin na epekto, okay, ng latent na dysfunction is suicide. Okay? For example, dahil sa, makikita natin yung sitwasyon, dahil sa sobrang dami ng mga tao, okay, nag-i-increase ang unemployment. Okay? Pag nag-i-increase ang unemployment, 'di ba, nagkakaroon ng natural instinct ang mga tao to survive. So they will do whatever they want to do. Nag-i-increase ang crime rate. Okay, dahil sa dumadami ang population, maliban doon, dahil sa dumadami ang population ng mga tao sa isang lugar, ang nangyayari si nanay, si tatay, 'di ba, nagtatrabaho at hindi niya naaalagaan sila anak. So ngayon si anak na-depress, okay, nagkakaroon ng mga psychological problems. So isa sa mga bunga na lang ng latent dysfunction ay ang suicide. Okay? So ngayon there is this one psychologist or sociologist rather, si Emile Durkheim. Okay, si Emile Durkheim, okay, ang paniniwala niya, okay, sa suicide. Ang suicide hindi siya individualistic. Okay? Ang suicide is a social problem caused by the society. By a society. Hindi siya individualistic to the point na hindi mo dapat sisihin. Kaya pag ang isang tao ay nagpakamatay, hindi mo solely or hindi mo dapat individually sisihin yung taong nagpakamatay. Okay? But you just need to consider, okay? You need to consider the society as one of the important factor bakit siya nangyayari. Okay? So ngayon, etong sociological view siya. So may factor na malaki ang society. Why do people commit suicide? Hindi siya individualistic. Okay? So hindi siya psychologist. Okay? Sociologist si Emile Durkheim. Ngayon, meron siyang tinawag na 4 na iba't ibang type ng suicide. Okay? Caused by the society. Okay? Una is what we call fatalistic. Fatalistic suicide. This happens when people take their own lives because there is no possible way of getting out of an oppressive situation. Okay? Dahil sa merong matinding problem in a society, na hindi na kayang i-take ng isang tao, they tend to see killing themselves as the only way solution to end, diba, the suffering. Okay? So hindi, sabi niya ni Emile Durkheim, hindi siya individualistic. May contribution ng society bakit ang mga tao nag-e-end up na patay ng mga sarili nila because of an oppressive situation, because of suffering the experience from the society. Okay, so for example, diba, yung mga slaves or prisoners serving life sentences, okay, would take their own life, diba? Imbis na, o bang may mga cases no na inaabangan na lang nila yung kanilang sentensya dahil sa sobrang pressure, 'di ba? Ginagawa nila is they just to kill themselves. So unahan na lang nila na patayin ng sarili nila. Out of that. Okay? So may mga tao na gano'n nakikita na lang nila na tapusin na lang kasi wala na. They believe that there will be no escape from this. Okay, second one is altruistic. Altruistic, okay? This happens when the ties to one's community are too strong, okay? It happens, okay, parang kabaliktaran siya ng fatalistic, no? Or kumbaga, sa fatalistic, nagpapakamatay ang isang tao kasi masyadong oppressive ang isang sitwasyon o isang society. But here in altruistic, nagpapakamatay ang isang tao because the relationship to their community is too strong. Okay, kaya siya altruistic. Ito yung magpapakamatay ka for the sake of the vision. Magpapakamatay ka for the sake of the mission of your own group. So ano ang pinakamagandang example natin? Sila yung mga I forgot the terms, but these are the individuals who commit suicide for a political or religious cause. Tulad ng mga suicide bombers noong September 11, 2001 sa World Trade Center. Okay? Kasi ganito kasi yan eh, lalo na yung mga this is not to generalize, okay, every Muslims, but there were certain groups, 'di ba, of Muslims who believe that you, 'di ba, as a devotee, 'di ba, ng society mo, ng grupo mo, they are trained not only in military, but they are also trained, 'di ba, to have the strong heart, 'di ba, the strong heart towards their group, na handa kang mamatay para sa pinaniniwalaan mo. Kaya sila merong mga suicide bombers. Hindi po sila pinilit. Okay? Hindi sila pinilit. They are suicide bombers. They voluntarily. Okay? They are asked and they are not forced, okay, to do that. They did that, diba, for the sake, diba, for the sake of their mission, for the sake of the vision of their organization. Next, we have egoistic, okay, which take space, kabaliktaran siya ng altruistic. Sa altruistic, di ba, may mga suicide bombers kasi their relationship is too strong within the community. Egoistic naman, di ba, they commit this when they feel detached from the society. Kabaliktaran siya, detached. Okay? So, papakamatay ka na lang, di ba? They tend to kill themselves, okay, because they feel that they do not belong, they feel, kumbaga, that they do not belong in their society. Okay? So, 'di ba, nangyayari ito kapag may mga tao na paningin nila na wala na, gulo-gulo naman yung pamilya ko eh. Wala na. Feeling ko naman out of place naman ako dito. Wala naman akong kaibigan. There is no one who loves me. So, 'di ba? It is me. Kaya siya ego eh. Okay? It is self-centered. Okay, nagiging it is self-centered, okay, na dahil sa pakiramdam mo, 'di ba, na hindi ka mahal ng society mo, pakiramdam mo, okay, wala kang kwenta sa paningin nila. Okay, so nag-e-end tayo sa ganito. Okay? So next is anomic. Okay, anomic suicide. This is going to be the last one. Okay. Anomic suicide. So, anomic suicide, this occurs when an individual's life is suddenly disrupted by major social events such as wars, famine, and economic depression. Okay? So, in these times, individuals feel a sense of despair and hopelessness as they realize that they have no longer lived the life that they were used to. Okay, so yan. So sila ang mga biktima ng anomic suicide, okay, ng wars, okay? Hindi naman sila literally nagpakamatay, but because of a social event, dahil sa nagkaroon ng social problem ng taggutom, dahil sa merong social problem na conflict between one country to another, 'di ba? Ano nangyari? Naipapadala sila sa field. Okay, sila yung nagiging biktima ng social issue na to the point na dumarating sila sa point na ng point ng death. Okay, so suicide, okay, sometimes, okay, this suicide are committed by those who have been sexually abused as children, whose parents or whose parents are alcoholic, diba, are examples of this type. Okay, ito yung klase ng mga tao that they commit suicide, okay, because they commit suicide, okay, nang hindi naman talaga nila gusto. Okay, they commit suicide because of a problem in a society, because a problem of a group of people that they belong in. Okay, so yun lang naman ang ating lesson for today. So, one thing lang, no, na I just want to let everyone know is, I know that every one of us, that every one of you have different problems na pinagdadaanan. I may not know it exactly, I may not experience it yet, okay, may iba't ibang intensity tayo ng problema pinagdadaanan. But one thing that I want to let you know is killing yourself will not solve the problem that you have. If your problem is lack of love, hanapin mo ang perpektong pagmamahal. Kung ang problema mo is you feel worthless, hanapin mo ang worth mo. Diba? If you feel that you do not belong in a society, you do not belong in your group of friends, look for those people who will welcome and make yourself belong to them. Okay? So, yun lang ang ating lesson. So, I hope that every one of you are safe. Ayan. So, pahinga-pahinga din, okay, pag may time. Okay, so yun lang. I hope that every one of you will be safe. Ayan, kain kayo ng marami para malakas ang inyong mga resistensya. So that's all for our topic in week 5. So see you next week. Goodbye.